Have you ever had negative thoughts in your mind that you aren't good enough, that you'll never be successful? If so, you're not alone. I've had those thoughts playing in my mind ever since I took the leap to become an entrepreneur. It's a dirty, dark secret that no one likes to talk about, as the glamorization of becoming an entrepreneur is shown in the media. I realized that in order to succeed, I needed help. We all do. So I decided to go all in on myself, spending thousands of hours in the trenches, reading, joining groups, listening to podcasts, hiring coaches to develop a bulletproof morning routine for success. Join me on my journey as together we build our morning fire to ignite our lives as entrepreneurs. My name is Jeff Wickersham, and this is the Morning Fire for Entrepreneurs podcast. Welcome to the show. I am excited to have special guest Craig Cecilio on the show. Craig, welcome to the show.
Great. Thanks for having me, Jeff. Appreciate it.
You're so welcome. So love getting into state before we get into a great discussion on investing, leadership, mental health, all important aspects of life. So let's go ahead and do 3 power breaths in. I define it breathing in through the belly, up through the chest. Go ahead and breathe in and out. Good. Another breath in and out. Final breath in and out. All right. Now that we're grounded, we're going to amp the energy up a little bit. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. We're going to yell boom at the top of our lungs in 3, 2, 1, and boom.
Boom.
There you go. Appreciate you playing.
Love it.
Playing along. So morning habits, rituals, routines, I believe they are the foundation to anything you want to do in life. So Craig, what's a couple things you do first thing in the morning that really sets you down that path towards success?
First thing I do usually is, there's coffee involved, but I do breathing. I do the Wim Hof breathing technique is the first thing. I try to do 3 to 4 rounds every morning. Then after that, I go into some stretching, a little bit of stretching for my shoulders and my body itself. And then I sometimes do a speech, a grateful speech. What am I grateful for? I do the bulletproof coffee with ghee in it, a little clarified butter, and I have that. I have about a cup and a half. I try to limit. That's my caffeine take most of the time, most days. Some days you might have one in the afternoon, but I try to limit that. And then from there, that's how I start the day. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's like pre-shower, and then I jump in the shower and get the day started. And getting the day started, it's kind of going through my to-do list and kind of reprioritizing my day. To-do list is always moving around. Priorities are always moving around. So I try to make sure I'm working on things that are connected to the goals I'm trying to achieve. And kind of day by day for what I do, it kind of changes a lot. So making sure I'm really getting the ROI on my time. And that's the biggest thing. Am I getting the ROI on my time? Because time is something that we don't have a lot of.
Yep. And we all have the same amount of time, so you've got to use it definitely wisely. So I'm a huge Wim Hof fan, so would love to hear from you. 1, how long you've been doing the Wim Hof breathing, and then 2, what do you find that comes out of it?
I've been doing it for a couple of years right now, and during the pandemic, I decided to I got a freezer and I turned it into an ice bath and I put it in my garage. And my wife was like, "What? We don't need a freezer." I was like, "Yeah, we do." And then I started getting a hose and she's like, "What are you doing?" It's a bowl of water right now. So I started doing that about a year ago during the pandemic. And then I think about 6 months into it, she sees another package delivered to the house and she's like, "Oh, what'd you get now?" And I got a sauna. So I got a sauna for my backyard, a big one of those barrel saunas, and it's been a game changer doing that stuff. I can't say without a doubt it's a game changer. It's incredible.
It truly is, and that cold contrast and getting in the cold, it's such. I feel like it builds mental strength more than anything, because you're getting in and people are like, "You're doing what? Getting in the ice?" Or you're going for a cold walk outside, which I've been doing lately with just a hat, gloves, and shorts on when it's 20 degrees. But you're putting body through that natural stress, and then you're able to handle everything else that comes at you. And we know life has thrown a lot at us from that perspective.
I would love to do the cold walks, but I live in Southern California. I don't have an option to do that. So I gotta go to the freezer.
There you go.
Yeah, it's quite an experience. It's always good to have share it with other people, and the experience the first time, seeing them go into something that cold is fun. It's fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. I know we want to get into leadership, we want to get into mental health, we want to
Yeah.
get into building a community and what you're doing with your company. So give a little backstory.
Yeah, so the company I founded is called DiversyFund. We imagine a world where everyone has an equal opportunity to build wealth. So we built a platform out where people can come in who are not necessarily accredited investors and institutional investors. So the everyday person has an opportunity to invest like the 1%. We have minimums as low as $500. It's really kind of changing kind of the playing field, dropping those barriers down, allowing people to have that opportunity to build wealth. And that's kind of the American dream, is how can I go up that wealth ladder? And today, the wealth gap is even larger than it was 2 years ago. And even back when we started the business out, the wealth gap was pretty significant. And here we are trying to come out of this pandemic, and the wealth gap just increased even more. So hopefully we developed a tool that could help that out. And yeah, it's been quite a wild ride.
What just for the audience sake, an accredited investor. What does one need to be an accredited investor?
Well, it's excluding your personal residence. That's one big thing. So it's your net worth greater than $1 million, excluding your personal residence, which a lot of us have equity in, and usually an income between 200 and 250,000. I think dual income is about 300 to 200,000 per individual.
Gotcha. And many times investment opportunities, you need to be an accredited investor to be involved, correct?
Yeah, and these institutional type quality investments require 20, 10, 20, 30, $40 million to participate in. And usually that's dependent upon institutional investors, hedge fund managers, ultra high net worths, not even just high net worth individuals, but ultra high net worth individuals. So even if you have 100,000, you meet the criteria, sometimes you're excluded from those investment opportunities.
Okay, so you saw that as kind of an issue with regular, let's say everyday Americans building wealth, right? Building that wealth. Take us back to how your company formed, how you kind of got this thought process in. Would love to understand the inner workings.
Yeah, I've been doing this for about 25 years, raising
Okay.
capital, syndicating deals,
Mhm.
placing the money into investment opportunities. And then going back even farther is growing up. And that's more came from a working class family. Mom and dad, they worked really hard, never really had a chance to kind of go to those fancy country clubs. We're in a pretty wealthy area. I was kind of young, didn't really understand it too much till I got older, but they never had that opportunity to kind of, like everyone else had, to go up that wealth ladder. So I think that really kind of was the beginnings of where it was kind of started inside myself, where the passion, the fire came from. Is growing up from a more working class family, and we never knew about this stuff. We never heard about it. And fortunately for me, I have met some people along the way in my early 20s and started studying this and got involved at an early age and started serving a lot of high net worth and institutional customers. And it was always kind of a very big business transaction, always making them a lot of money along the way. And then when I had the opportunity to say, oh my God, there's an opportunity here to create something for everyone, I just kind of ran with it. I was like, okay, I got to do this. And that was like around 2013. I saw that opportunity come out of the Jobs Act with some of the regulations that came down the pipe. And then the rest is kind of history. Kind of just stuck my head down, tried to figure out how to do it, found myself a co founder, launched a company in late August in 2016. And here we are today. Yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride.
So what would be a typical scenario where somebody would get involved with your company and invest or do something of that nature?
Well, right now we're having over 3,000 transactions a month on our platform.
Okay.
Everything's automated, very very app friendly. We have an app for Android and Apple Store. You can go online, of course, to the platform itself. It's very easy to transact, less than a minute. It takes you through the whole transaction. Everything's automated, very user friendly. We're consistently upgrading our technology and our products to transfer information to people. Believe it or not, a lot of the stuff we're focused on is content and educating people, because everyone comes from all walks of life.
Right.
You could say in some cases, when you worked with institutional investors, they all speak the same language. In this case, everyone speaks a different language. So we're educating people, no matter where you are on that kind of your educational journey. It's your own journey there. We're providing content for you to help you out, to assist you in learning. And the biggest thing is we're really giving you an opportunity. And biggest thing is, on top of that, is awareness. A lot of people didn't even know this exists, and so there's a lot of questions across the board. Is one, hey, how do these investments work? These alternative investments work. And then what is your basic knowledge, your financial acumen as well, and helping you out in that journey.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And obviously, starting in 2016, pandemic hit a couple years ago. I know you really built a community in that time. What was some of the biggest challenges you faced as an organization when the pandemic hit? And then how did you build a community of about 30K or so people in that time frame?
Yeah, well, one of the decisions we were talking in December 2019 was really to kind of throw a lot more into our marketing budget and really kind of
Okay.
go for it. And then all of a sudden, our launch date was supposed to be, I believe, it was like around March 1st, was when we are going to launch the increased spending across everything. And all of a sudden, the pandemic hit, and everyone looks at me, and I'm like, "No, we're going for it. We're going to play to win." So we're going
Nice.
out there, and we spent a lot of money during those time periods, built a lot of great relationships. Our community kind of exploded. So I think organically we're right for that growth at that point in time. And then everyone kind of moved online in that time period. So you had a lot of people that weren't transacting online now forced to do that. So kind of our community exploded. I think we've got about 500,000 account signups. We have over 30,000 customers, close to like 70, 80,000 transactions right now on the platform. So kind of just took off over the last 2 years. It's been pretty incredible. And at the same time, we invested in assets at that point in time that were a little depressed. Within this last year, everything took off. So we're investing in assets in a time period where everyone doesn't even know what's going on in the world. So we kind of benefited from that as well.
Love it. So that takes a tremendous amount of leadership, right? A tremendous amount of courage to continue to step forward. So let's talk about leadership and how you led the team, your organization through that role, because I'm sure, as you said, a lot of people were saying, okay, what are we going to do? We're not going to do this. And you said, hey, let's move forward. So talk to a little bit about that.
Yeah, that is an experience. I could write probably a series of books about living through that. And it's unprecedented times. And at the same time, you're looking at your organization, you have a growing organization, and what do you do at the end of the day with that? And looking at then you look around your team, your team in place, and how's your team, and how can you rely upon your leaders to really uh, drive your culture and drive your vision during those tough time periods. And I gotta say, it wasn't an easy time period whatsoever, because we migrated from being in the office to work from home. So
Okay.
along that is there's a lot of changes happen. You got to change a lot of things. So, and what I was thinking is a lot of opportunities happening. So from working from home and all of us being together, we expanded nationally and also we expanded globally in hiring people. So allowed us to kind of gave us more choices to hire people across the country. Being in California, it's kind of a higher price for some of the
Right.
technology guys, so allowed us to get some people across the country that were more affordable to our business, and match ourselves to the right people for the organization. So we started doing that. Finding people who work well in a work from home culture, who are used to doing that, bring in some more managers and leaders who are doing that. Kind of like I just kind of thought of it as like pieces of a puzzle. Like, what do
Okay.
I need and how do I navigate these waters? Increased communication and transparency is one of the biggest things. We did that. I think
Okay.
one of the major moves that I would say that I would never have thought of doing was really bringing in a people director earlier in the process. And
Okay.
you're really kind of thinking maybe I hit 50 employees, 100 employees before I do that. But we brought that people director in pretty soon in the process, laying the groundwork for really to help the employees out, to serve our employees, to give them the tools they need to be successful and to deal with any kind of issues that might arise from the work from home atmosphere. So I would say that was one of the best decisions we've made,
Okay.
and as well as just being highly adaptable from the work from home culture. I think a little bit we set up as kind of a tech company. We all had laptops anyway. We give everyone a MacBook, and that was easy to go home. Let's work as normal.
Right.
But yeah, it was. I could go on and on with the stories, but yeah, those are a couple of the big moves.
Are you going to stay virtual? Or are you going to be back in the office? Combination of both? What's the future plans?
Yeah, we're about 30% local right now, so we're
Okay.
70% global and national. So we're staying remote. Might
Gotcha.
open up some smaller offices across the country. We're entertaining that to take but we still have a current lease, so we're gonna see where that takes us. There's really no negotiation with our current landlord with that, but we might open up a couple satellite offices throughout the U.S.
Gotcha.
We're very flexible. We want to keep people comfortable, really kind of listening to our employees of what their wants and needs are. But it seems to be working right now for us, work from home.
And what challenges, and I've spoken to others related to the challenges, because so many people went from working in an office to working remote, right? And working virtually. You have a little bit more of a mental strain because you're never disconnected. You're in the office. Where's the, if you've got a family, I know you do, I do as well. Where's the disconnect of, okay, I'm turning work off. I'm going to be in the family. So talk a little bit about how you tackled that mental health, that mental stress, that change of being in the office to being virtual.
Yeah, I'm an extrovert, so it really hurt me harder than anybody else. I like to talk. I like to be around people, so it was tough for me to do. So any opportunity I found, I tried to take it. So I dove into uh, all these tools I could find for myself with meditation, the breathing, doing the ice baths, and the hot cold therapy. Built a gym in my backyard, pretty much like everyone else. Didn't get a Peloton, but I got pretty close to some exercise equipment in the backyard to do that, and just made it a priority to take care of myself, take care of my health, take care of my mental health, and really kind of just being very very persistent and systematic about it on a day-to-day basis, and make sure I didn't miss those missed my morning routines and my daily routines. And came out of this, now it's easy to do for me. It's just kind of like walking and talking at the end of the day, but really made myself super disciplined on that stuff, which rolled over into everything else. Not easy working from home all the time. Things are kind of semi-open, so you can get out a little bit more now. It's a little bit better. It's happier. I'm happier because of that reason, so I can interact with people more. But I really had to kind of, it's almost like 10x, all the kind of the mental therapies that are out there. And then along the way, you start talking to people and other people who are doing things, and you start sharing techniques and different philosophies, and it just and then all of a sudden I'm like, I get all these things thrown at me nonstop now. So it's like every second something new is coming out, I'm trying it out or doing something. So it actually becomes a part of you. So yeah, it's been pretty wild, and feel pretty fortunate to build some great relationships during that time period as well.
Yeah, I would agree with you. As the pandemic hit, I'm an early riser, and people said, "Are you going to sleep in?" And I said, "Absolutely not." Like now, more than ever, you need to stick to your disciplines, the things you do on a daily basis to fight physically, fight mentally. And one thing that came out of the pandemic that you just alluded to is now all these things we do or had done kind of in private are so much more out in the open, the ice baths, the saunas, the meditation. So many people are opening up, I feel like, to, hey, I need to do some of these things for myself, and then I show up better for everybody around me. Where before, I don't know if it was that much of a priority, or it wasn't out in the open as it is, nowadays, which is a great thing to see, right? That's an opportunity that we've gotten out of the pandemic.
Yeah, and it's been the environment's been it's a safe environment to talk about these things. Starting a company, being a CEO, running a business, there's more conversations happening between each other. There's more groups out there. Other people are going through the same things you are. You feel you feel normal now. So things that we weren't sharing before, it always existed. Being a CEO, being the leader of an organization, there's really no one really to go to. It's kind of a lonely experience. And now everyone's kind of reaching out, and everyone's really, I find how amazing how we're all kind of coming together. Everyone's sharing stories, and it's comforting because it's like what you're going through, that person's going through. And at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad because you hear someone else's story. So you feel normal at the end of the day. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. So out of this, I believe that's we're going to get some better leaders out of this, knowing that, hey, what I'm trying to do is difficult. We understand it's difficult. There's a lot of stress involved. Now I have some avenues where I could turn to someone to have a conversation, and have some tools that I could use to better myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Since we went virtual, networking has gone global, right? Your company has gone global, where now you can hire people all across the globe, which 2.5 years ago, wasn't occurring, right? It was much more condensed. So I definitely see that as a blessing that has come out of the pandemic. So Craig, where can people find the app, find more information if they want to get involved, want to become an investor, a member? Where can they find you?
Yeah, we're DiversyFund.com. We're in the Apple Store, Android Store. You can download the app from your Apple phone or your Android phone. My social handles are Craig Cecilio, CXC. That's my middle initials X. You can find me through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter as well. I'm highly engaged with all different social media mediums. And check it out. It's very easy to get started. The minimum's as low as $500. I know people even waste that on a meal at night. So it's really easy to get started with your own journey and learn how to invest like the 1%.
Love it. Craig, thank you for being on the show.
Great. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for listening. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Rise, fight, love, repeat. Get after it. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Morning Fire for Entrepreneurs podcast. You now have the knowledge, but without action, knowledge is useless. Choose to act. Choose to step into your greatness and unlock that hero inside of you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review so more entrepreneurs can hear this message. If you absolutely love this podcast, which I hope you do, then share it up with someone you know who might see benefit from it. Become that beacon of change, and together we can impact the world.